Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is Sunday morning, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of look at where we're at with the royal family and what's going on, what direction we maybe see things going in. Just kind of a little bit take stock of the situation as we're getting near to closing out 2024, which has been a tumultuous year for the Royals. I mean, right at the very beginning of the year, we had Charles's diagnosis with cancer. Within hours, we had the news about Catherine, the surgery. We didn't know about the cancer for a couple of weeks later, right, after the tests and everything kind of thing. So we found all of this out right at the beginning of the year, and those two were out of commission. Camilla did do a pretty good job of picking up the slack, and she was seen everywhere doing everything, as was William. Over in California, Meghan and Harry kept up with their same silly shit from the get-go. In a year, looking back, we've seen them take a couple of full royal tours. We've seen them appear at award shows that they paid to be participants and recipients of. They never actually do anything that isn't a paid appearance or they somehow benefit from. They never actually earn anything. They buy things. They buy it. You know, they buy the newspaper articles and the media time, print and on screen. They buy all these foolish legends of aviation, Harry, man of the year. I mean, it's absolutely foolish. And we should be laughing at them with disgust and disdain. They are meant to be mocked. That's how bad they are. But the thing is, we have to kind of follow this stuff and keep an eye on them because we also know they're agents of chaos. We know the connections they have with government and NGOs and the World Economic Forum crowd and what seems to be their role in the whole thing is to challenge free speech, to crack down on internet freedom, which is part of free speech, but it's also separate as well. They target the vulnerable to get their own gain. I mean, the whole thing is awful. And because of the fact that they are supported by a lot of things behind the scenes, they can pretty much get away with any kind of bad behavior that they want. Until, there is going to come a point where they become liabilities to their masters. And I think we might be getting close because everybody is just running away from them, right? They're losing friends. Netflix is about to run out. Oh, Netflix, here we go. Coming up December 3rd, I believe, is when Polo launches on Netflix. It's a 5-part mini-series about the elitist world of polo featuring Nacho Figueres, Harry's polo friend. Now, Meghan got her, even though she has nothing to do with this at all. I mean, Harry was the polo player. He's the prince. He's Nacho's friend. He's in and of this world. But apparently he's not even in the documentary. Harry and Meghan, surprise, are listed as executive producers. Meghan has to own everything. She has to be everything, of course, because she's just that fabulous, right? Well, the kicker of it is, I mean, we know that anything Meghan puts her name to is it's just gonna fail. It's just everything she touches turns to shit. And and many people, after having seen the trailer, are saying that this documentary is going to be just crap. It's going to be a stinker, right? So yet another thing Meghan Markle puts her name to that fails, and this will be the last straw for Netflix, and I'm sure they're at the end of their rope, and they're also almost at the end of their contract in 2025, and bet your bottom dollar that that's not going to be renewed. So, Harry and Meghan, 2025, yeah, Netflix, that relationship is coming to an end. She still hasn't been able to get her lifestyle brand off the grounds because, the trademark issues. She's stealing other people's ideas, stealing other people's names. I mean, she can't do anything originally. She looked at a couple of big brands and said, I want to do that. American Riviera Orchard was born, and it's gone nowhere. She threw some food service jam into some wholesale jars and sent them to a few of her contacts. Won't call them friends because I don't think she has many friends. It's gone nowhere, and it's not going to go anywhere because it's tied up with so many legal issues. I mean, this is one of those ditch it, honey, because it's not worth trying to save. It's dead. Move on to something else, which you'd think she will have already done, because that's how she seems to approach everything else in her life. Like, when it's done, cut it off, move ahead, and the past is gone. And some reason she's hanging on to this thing, which is ridiculous. Now, also coming up early December, the globe-trotting gets Harry and Meghan. We heard about a year ago that there was a German documentary on the go, and at first we thought it was going to be pretty much reveal all of Meghan's past and this and that. And then we heard that there was lawyers involved, so the thing was going to be delayed. It was supposed to have come out this fall. And now, according to the Royal Grift, it seems that this documentary has morphed into more of a hit piece on the royal family than a hit piece on Meghan and Harry, and that Meghan and Harry are going to be involved in this, but again, not directly, kind of obliquely involved behind it, And apparently this comes out around the same time as Polo, first week of December, in Germany though, and it's going to be in German. So it's going to be a while. I mean, people will get a hold of it and translations will be had and this and that. But, the way things bleed out over a period of a little bit of time, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks till we get the real story on the on the documentary, and what's really been. So this is not good. And I mean, the royal family have to know about this. They have to know these things are in the works. You would think with the intelligence agencies and their security and all of that these things are constantly looked at and constantly weighed. They must know there's gonna be incoming fire coming soon, and so you'd think, well, what does the royal family do about, well, what they've done? From the Queen, never complain, never explain, and just like go on and pretend nothing's happening. Just ignore them. But that doesn't always work. It doesn't. And Harry and Meghan's behavior, whether you look at it from a family perspective, professionally, I mean their role in the monarchy, because don't forget, he's still in the line of succession. He is still a what do they call it? The King's Group. It'll come to me. Counselor of State. He's still a counselor of state. If everything went sideways, Harry still has some clout within the organization, which is terrifying, Meghan by his side. So this has got to be addressed. I mean, the attacks from Harry and Meghan keep coming, and from the looks of it, they're going to continue to keep coming. Now, as for jeopardy for Harry and Meghan, we know now that Trump is in, and Trump has said in the past that he dislikes Harry and Meghan because they disrespected the Queen and the royal family. So there's no love lost there, and we know Harry and Meghan's feelings about President Trump. But he's a busy guy. He's not gonna hunt him down and personally, kick him out of the country. But should the Heritage Foundation be able to reopen the claim and look at Trump's Justice Department isn't going to stand in the way of that. They're not going to block it. His administration is not going to protect Harry and Meghan, right? So there's a certain level of jeopardy there. And I mean, with Harry and Meghan, it's only a matter of time until the jig is up. I mean, how long? Harry hasn't been home in at least 2 months, hasn't seen his kids. There are no kids, but as we go along with the narrative, same with Meghan. She's, partying it up at a hair product launch party thing, 100 miles away from Montecito. There are no kids, okay? Now, the state of their marriage, we think is non-existent. We've heard varying degrees of divorce negotiations and this and money, and Meghan is saying if there's any negotiation to be done, she wants to be a part of it, and the palace is saying no, you're not going to be a part of it. There's a lot of gossip going on. There's an awful lot of chatter, and now is this distractive or is this operational? This is something we've got to figure out. And so that's another thing to look forward to in 2025. Some kind of resolution, some kind of answers as to what's going on. The state of everybody's health. Kate, although she's, back in action, she's not fully back in action. Indeed, a week ago or so, there was a state banquet, the diplomatic dinner that they host And Camilla, in between bouts of chest infections, she was there, but Catherine was not by William's side, and I was kind of surprised. I thought that would have been one thing that she would have shown up for, but apparently has not. Now, she is going ahead with her Christmas concert that she does at the cathedral. She's done it for the last 3 or 4 years, I think, and it's become a very popular show program that airs about mid-December, I think, middle of December to the late. I'm not exactly sure the date that it's going to come out, but I think she may have already filmed it. If not, they'll be filming soon. So, there is that. She is going to be there. Now, going into 2025, we still have Andrew is still kind of at the top of the list of irritants for the royal family, specifically the king. Whether it be, the whole royal lodge and taxes and security and upkeep and the king thought he had him. You don't have the money for upkeep. You gotta leave. Then magically, Beatrice makes a trip to the Middle East, and don't you know? Then all of a sudden, Andrew's got the money to pay for the upkeep. So he kind of checkmated the king a little bit, and he's still in place. And there's lots of questions as to where Andrew might have gotten the money. My previous video was all about it. Check it out. Prince Andrew, man of mystery. So yeah. So the whole Andrew question is he's still a huge thorn in the side of the king. Now the king himself is losing ground with the public, especially now that a new Labour government is in, and people are seeing exactly how kind of the green agenda and climate change and environment is a driving force for the royal family. And isn't it interesting that those are the same principles that the World Economic Forum is trying to impose on sovereign countries to limit their access to resources, to everything. And the royal family are knee-deep in the World Economic Forum, and people are starting to see that and going, oh, hang on, wait a minute. Then we got quite an expose. And even though we don't know everything, we learned an awful lot about the royal family's finances and where the king and William are earning their money off their estates, and and people are upset with that, and gee, can't we make the royal family give some of that money back? And no, so ending the year, there is some disquiet while people are struggling. And the lid has been lifted just enough for them to peek inside and kind of go, I don't know if I like that. That doesn't sound like a good plan to me. And so they're questioning everything. Now, the one thing that the royal family has to their advantage, it's a double-edged sword, this whole World Economic Forum, the green agenda, climate change, conservation, all the bugaboos that, the world's gonna end unless we give up everything, man. Well, not them. they're just telling us, but us, yeah. You know, people are starting to figure it out. So they're in a tough spot on one regard, but they do have the attention of the younger crowd, which have been brainwashed for the last 20, 30 years with all of this. Those of us that are older can see through the trick, but the young people, they've been brainwashed with all of this. And so William, young and snazzy, and now he's got a beard, and he's the people's king. He's coming on, and the young people kind of like him, and he's going to end homelessness, and what's not to, he's for the environment, he's for the climate, he understands our concerns. So as far as the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, all of these above government sort of control systems that William is a part of, they want him in place, the sooner the better. Because to have a sympathetic character in there, because, a lot of people, the king, they're lukewarm about the king. Everybody wants William in. Everybody. If you ask anybody, I bet 9 out of 10 would say, yeah, the king should step down. William needs to get in there. So, and I've said since the beginning of this channel that I think that there's going to come a moment that William is going to force the hand of the king and force him off the throne, and I still believe that, and I believe that's going to happen in 2025. And I was saying that even before the king had his cancer diagnosis. I think it's going to be used as an easy out for him to step down and save face. But behind the scenes, I think it's William orchestrating things. So that's one thing I anticipate seeing. I think 2025 is going to be the year that William makes his move. And in the same time, there's got to be a decisive decision on how to deal with Harry and Meghan. I think they've got to be excised from the royal family, from the line of succession, from the counselors of state. Lose all the titles, prince included. They've got to be completely exiled for William to succeed. So I think that we're going into an even more tumultuous year than we've just had here in 2024. I think there's going to be a lot of shakeups next year. And it's going to keep us watching, and it's going to keep us interested in what's going on. Because they're all playing for big stakes. It's quite the game of risk. Well, hope you like this. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit your notification bell, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about everything. Talk to you later. Bye for now.